thank you for accepting our invitation and being with us today. So I'm going to start this webinar by asking a general question to all of you. My question will be, can you please tell me what are the main existing social and economic development challenges in your national ecosystems, and how you think entrepreneurship can help overcome them? And what are the main actions taken by your respective organizations in that direction? So obviously, I'm going to start with Hélène because women first. If Mathieu David agree, yeah, okay. Donc Hélène, si tu peux, voilà, répondre à cette première question.
On est sûr que la traduction, ça marche bien, tout va bien.
We're sure that is the translation working correctly? Yeah. Very well. So I'll be speaking French. Thank you. In Burkina Faso, the main challenge is youth employability. But on the other hand, companies have a hard time finding talents, professional skills within the country. So today, that is the main challenge. Young people who were lucky enough to study, they have diplomas, masters, and so on, but they don't have professional skills. These are mostly theoretical skills, and they do not know the world of work, the labor market. At the end of their studies, they're told you have two options. Either you try and become a civil servant, you pass the competition to become a civil servant, or you continue in this direction and you become a professor or a researcher. And this is where there is a real break with the private market. There is no link with companies. During studies, there are very few traineeships for a first professional experience. So most young graduates are told, well, maybe you should become an entrepreneur. However, if that doesn't work, they're told you should become an entrepreneur. But being an entrepreneur is not the last recourse. It's not the last chance. It's something quite difficult, and you need to know what to do and how to do it. So what we want to do is to act as a bridge for these young graduates who want to become an entrepreneur. We help them to find their way. Professionally speaking, most young graduates end up working in a sector completely different from what they studied for. So we try and give them professional orientation to young people who do want to become entrepreneurs. And also we help them to be capable of doing so, because some of them want to start their company, but they do not know how to. So sometimes we can also support them to find a first job, to make ends meet, and support them create their company on the side in the first time. So what do we do? Well, for example, we meet with young graduates. They give us their resumes, and then they say, well, I have nobody is calling me back. So we help them to find a job, to write a resume, to find a traineeship. And many graduates come to us and they say, look, I have a project. But our graduates, they didn't really know the two different types of support we would give. So we had to explain, this is what the type of support we can provide you with. And so when we give them a traineeship on the labor market, on the private sector, on becoming an entrepreneur, then realize that the labor market is maybe not for them. And so they sometimes graduates decide not to become an entrepreneur and go to our employability program in order to find a job within a company. So we support them, we help them, we act as a bridge to figure out what they want to do and how they want to do it. So there's this gap, as I said, and as I said, there are many companies dealing with the impossibility to find the right talents. They have vacancies, but they cannot find people with the right skills, the right competences. So companies approach us to, for example, provide professional trainings in order to to make sure that these gaps, these skill gaps can be filled. All right, thank you. So one question. Do you work with companies already, or is that a plan? Is this what you're going to do in order for universities to include in their curriculum, let's say, a training or courses on entrepreneurship? And then with the companies you work with, do they approach you? Do they know you? How does that work? So yes, we do work with universities. It's a long process. It takes time to build bridges. But let's say the last year bachelor or the second year master, we offer modules for the post-study life, and we offer modules to universities. We include them in their curriculums, and this helps students to figure out what they want to do after graduation. And today, well, companies also approach us. For example, we organize an orientation day on May the 1st, and this year we had 1,500 graduates and about 30 companies who came. And these companies are here not to recruit, but to give advice. In other words, it's a possibility for young people to meet with professionals, and they say, look, this is what I want to do. What should I do? How should I behave in a job interview? What should I write on my CV? What type of skills should I acquire? And then we also have other types of training. So motivation letter, job interview, how do you contact a company? How do you send a spontaneous application? And so during this day, we already had 2 editions. We got some visibility and other companies learned about us. A company called REA-Bridge was looking for 30 trainees in Burkina Faso in the Ivory Coast. And we got in touch with a lot of engineering companies to identify the right talents, to find the right trainees, and well, everything went well. They all did their trainees, and at the end, many were recruited by companies. Well, very well, very interesting.
L'entrepreneuriat, bon, comme on dit au début, c'est une manière de créer son propre emploi et de trouver des solutions à un problème d'employabilité, mais aussi,
so as you said, there's a need to build a bridge, and becoming an entrepreneur is no easy task. You can try, but you need skills. So I fully agree with you. The programs you provide are complementary. Thank you very much for this great presentation.